So let's get started. I know people will probably continue to come in and join us this evening. I want to just go through a quick agenda. We're going to do over introductions and then a quick overview of the Summer Academy experience at the University of Vermont. We're going to focus in on Health and Medicine Summer Academy at UVM tonight. And we're going to hear from our student who just completed Health and Medicine at Summer Academy, Sher, who's with us. She's going to explain what that experience was like and answer your questions as a fellow student as well. And we will go over the application process and those deadlines as you're considering what are the plans for this next summer. My name is Nicola Willier-Fenton. I'll be facilitating our conversation tonight. I'm our content marketing manager in UVM's continuing and distance education. We are so fortunate to have Dr. Paula Tracy with us once again. She is a faculty member in our Summer Academy, and she shares with me it is one of the most favorite things that she teaches, and she is a professor in the Robert Larner College of Medicine and Biochemistry. We have Charlie with us. He is our enrollment coach, and he is going to help answer any questions as to how you get into this program. So make sure that you line up those questions. Charlie will join us throughout the presentation in the chat and come back on at the end to do those questions as well. And Sher is here. She is straight out of New York City with us this evening. Thank you, Hannah, for being with us. She's a senior at York Prep High School in New York City, and last summer she completed our Summer Academy Health and Medicine course. Okay, so I see a few more people have come in. Just wanted to share new people that are joining us. Please put questions in the chat box. We will answer your questions throughout the presentation and give plenty of time at the end to capture any additional questions. This is being recorded and we will share the presentation out. So let's get started. Let's talk about UVM Summer Academy program. What is it? It is a 4-week program. Traditionally, it's been 2 weeks on campus, UVM in Burlington, Vermont, and then 2 weeks online. Probably not too surprising. Last summer, we switched it all to an online experience, and it will be an online experience again this summer. We're going to hear from Hannah what that experience was like from switching those expectations of being on campus to being online and how she dealt with that and what the outcome of that program was. The Summer Academy at UVM is geared towards high school students who have just completed 10th, 11th, or 12th. So essentially, you could come back and take Summer Academy 3 times as you're coming into your 11th senior year and then the summer after your senior year. And we'll go over the different variety of courses available for Summer Academy this summer. What is the advantage of doing this? Students learn firsthand what college is like and the experience is like, and while earning 3 credits. So it goes on to your college transcript and you can start your college career with credits already under your belt. In addition, the students have an opportunity to build relationships with students from across the country. As Hannah will tell you, she's in New York City. She took the course and there were other students from across the country as well. And we have an active virtual community, the Catamount Enrichment Community, where students can engage with each other and engage in the resources here at the University of Vermont. So what's on deck for the summer 2021? So you can see the dates on the screen. July 6th through the 30th is the 4-week program for Summer Academy. And we're talking about our health programs tonight, but I just wanted to make everyone aware of what is kind of rounding out Summer Academy at UVM. We have drones for environmental mapping, facing environmental futures, storytelling with photographs, and then the programs we're focused on tonight, health and medicine. We have introductory neuroscience, and then biomedical science and human diseases. I did want to also make a plug. There is extra assistance offered through continuing and distance education at UVM called ALEX, which is a program that's designed to help math skills. So if that's something that you or your student might be interested in, we can share more information about that. Okay. Enough of the slides. Let's get into the really good stuff. Let's hear from Hannah. So Hannah, I want to start with you before we start hearing from Dr. Tracy. Obviously, no school year, the end of last year and this year has been normal or what you had expected. So as you were transitioning out of junior year in high school and things had switched to online, you started thinking about, what am I going to do this summer? And you looked at UVM's program, anticipating being on campus, and then things changed. How did you decide to do this program, and why did you decide to do this program?
So I definitely knew that I wanted to do something related to health and medicine over the summer. I know that it's always a good look for college. It's a good way to expand your horizons. And so I found the UVM summer programs online and I found the health and medicine course. And at first, it was supposed to be, I think, 2 weeks online and 2 weeks on campus. And originally, what really convinced me to do it was that we were going to get firsthand like simulations for CPR or AED and stuff like that. And so I was like, oh, I really want to do this course. And then obviously COVID hit, and they sent out an email saying, this is going to be a 4-week online course. At the time, everyone was pretty much, we'll take what we get. And so I saw the curriculum of the new course, which used to be health and medicine, which was a much broader topic. And then all of a sudden, it turned into COVID-19, global health and epidemiology or immunology. And so I kind of thought to myself, I was like, could this really be the worst thing ever? No, maybe not. So I decided that I still wanted to take the course. And I ended up really liking it. So that's kind of how I decided it checked all my boxes.
That's great. And we're going to hear more about that experience from you in just a minute. So I'm glad that it checked the boxes. And I know that it checked even more boxes as you started applying to college. So we'll hear about that in just a minute. So let's dive deeper into what are the benefits of UVM's Health and Medicine course for Summer Academy. And Dr. Tracy has been teaching this course for a while, and it's one of her favorite courses to teach. And so the intention is not really to read all of these different points. I think our participants can see some of them, but I just wanted to explain it's not 2 or 3 benefits. There's a variety of benefits that go into the Summer Academy Health and Medicine course, from having medical students at Robert Larner College of Medicine, the UVM College of Medicine, as the TAs. So you are engaging, you're connecting with medical students who are in it at the College of Medicine here at UVM. And as Hannah mentioned, the course curriculum really pivoted and did a deep dive into COVID, and that's going to happen again this year. So what just happened and then what's still happening. So it's incredibly timely and relevant. And Hannah had shared with me a few weeks ago that people were coming to her after she took the course and asking about COVID because she had this depth of knowledge underneath her belt from the health and medicine course. So Dr. Tracy, I want to hear from you. Some of the other points listed on here really are a benefit to high school students because they're getting a taste of college, but they're also getting potentially a different learning environment for them. Can you share with us a little bit about that?
Sure. So hi, everybody. Thanks for coming. First of all, I love this course. I was really excited last summer to think about doing it around COVID. Things are changing dramatically every day. So I can assure you it will be equally as exciting this summer, and it's exciting for us to put it together, frankly. So, but for me, when we were challenged to put everything online, we thought, well, why don't we just do what we do with our medical students, which is a whole lot of team-based learning. And what sold me on that was our ability to recruit enough outstanding first-year, soon-to-be second-year medical students who would serve as facilitators of these groups, and so that you get firsthand opportunities to work with medical students. We change it up every week so that you're not always with the same medical student. And then of course you sometimes have to interact with me and Dr. Aversa, but we enjoy that too. And so I think that the way that we've set it up, you do a lot of group learning, and I think you learn to understand as you also meet a lot of the professors and things who you'll be interacting with, and physicians and nurses and respiratory therapists, physiologists. It's pretty amazing. And you'll really get a sense that I'm going to have to be a member of a team and be a successful member of a team going forward if I'm interested in either science or medicine, epidemiology. It doesn't matter. For example, my husband's an epidemiologist. He has 27 people in his laboratory. So, I mean, it's it's a team sport. I think science and medicine have become team sports, and we want to help you understand that. I think for me is the most exciting part of this course.
And I know, Hannah, I'd love to hear from you at this point too, because I know you have a desire to be a pediatrician someday. And I know in reflections that you've shared with me that what Paula's talking about really rung true for you is you're focused on being a pediatrician, but it really broadened your perspective on the field of medicine. Can you share some of that with us?
Of course, before I took the course, I definitely was just like med school, residency, maybe a fellowship, and then work. And when I thought about college or med school, the only thing that I really thought about was, majoring in biology or biochem or molecular biology. And then I took this course and we dove into the respiratory system, we dove into immunology, we dove into epidemiology, hematology. And so, I very quickly realized that there's so many aspects of health and so many aspects of medicine and global health and public health that people don't really think about when they think of medicine or science. And that definitely allowed me to think about more of the things that I would want to study in college. So I am looking forward to maybe taking an infectious disease course when I go to college. So, and I wouldn't have done that unless I took this course. So, yeah.
Great perspective. I really appreciate that. And Dr. Tracy, I think it's an important point. The last 2 points on the slide are hearing from and meeting UVM and Larner College of Medicine faculty and exposing students, kind of what Hannah was talking about, exposing students to so many different health career options and the role of the scientist. Do you want to just give a sampling? We're going to show some of the syllabus and the modules coming up, but a sampling of the types of faculty and experts in their field that students have access to through this course.
Sure. So we're really fortunate here at UVM. We have a lot of centers of excellence, frankly. And one of them happens to be our vaccine center. And so who better to speak with, I mean, it's world famous, who better to speak with you about what it means to make a vaccine, what's a good vaccine. And now we've got 3 that we're using in the United States, and I'm sure we'll be using more as unfortunately COVID continues to mutate on us. And but we also have amazing people in physiology. For example, one of our faculty member who was a physics major and got his PhD in physics just last year developed a new ventilator. And we called it the Vermontilator, and it now has been approved for use in the hospitals. And so you get to interact with them and see how this actually works. And I think, well, what's very exciting is that all the people here that you have an opportunity to interact with want to interact with you. And so you'll see how enthusiastic they are and how good they are at what they do and how they're willing to answer any questions either then or later. It doesn't matter. And for me, that's that's why I've been here for as long as I have. The faculty here and my colleagues are just amazing people to interact with. They're just wonderful.
And the opportunity in high school to interact and to learn from them, I'm sure is pretty awesome. Hannah, I see a question here, it looks like from Mercedes, that I would love for you to think about and answer. And we can go over some logistics in terms of the course for you as well, but how much time did it take? How did you structure your day when you were in these 4 weeks of the health and medicine course?
So it was for a month. It was for basically, I think from July 5th to the 31st or something like that, if I remember correctly. And for the first 2 weeks, I was at home. So in the morning, I would get up and we would have, I think we'd start somewhere at around 9:30 or 10, if I don't really remember, but it was like somewhere, it was 10, perfect. It was in the morning, and then we would go for about 3 hours, if I remember correctly. and I would normally take a break, do my daily walk, maybe hang out with a friend, and then I would come back, and in the evening I would do whatever work I had to do. I mean, it wasn't anything uh, like your normal schoolwork that you would have during a normal school day, as if you were in school. But there was definitely a little bit of homework that they would give, nothing crazy. And I would do that in the evenings. And for the second 2 weeks, I was actually in Cape Cod. So I got to wake up, I took my walk in Cape Cod, and then I went to class with my nice view. And then I would do my work probably, I think I did my work right after class to get it over with. But nothing crazy,
Great.
promise.
Good. I hope that gives you, Mercedes, hope that gives you a little bit of perspective as to how Hannah structured her day. And you can see there that there are quizzes, there's group work to make sure that everyone understands the content in the quizzes. So there's active learning happening, but there's group learning. And I think Paula always shares with me how important that is, I think, as well. And Hannah, what was your perspective on that? The group learning opportunity. You know, you come in, do your own quiz, really test your knowledge on the material, but then you get to interact with different groups, and the groups rotate each week. What was that experience like for you?
In terms of the group learning, it was definitely really great because the group switched every week. We got new TAs, but we also got new group members as well. So we got to meet new people, we got to talk to new people. And so even though it was virtual, it still felt like we were interacting with more and more people, which was really great. And it was also fun. You know, I had there was a girl in my group that I had during the first week, and then I didn't have her in the second and third week. But then in the fourth week, we were in the same group again. So it was nice to see familiar faces every once in a while as well. And you know, in terms, we had TBLs, which is the team-based learning, and we had IBLs, if I remember correctly, which is the individual-based learning. And
Yep.
I liked having that balance of doing some things by yourself, and then doing like an hour and a half of the, you know, when we were online, we would do an hour and a half of just group learning, you know, reading material and coming together as a group and discussing that material and asking each other questions and answering each other's questions. And I think that was really beneficial as a student.
Awesome. Great. Thank you for that perspective. Really appreciate that, Hannah. And I see questions kind of coming into the chat box. Continue to ask those questions. Charlie, thank you so much for jumping in there. And we'll make sure to ask, if you have a specific question for Hannah too, please let us know. And we'll make sure to ask that, or for Dr. Tracy as well. So Dr. Tracy, let's just touch on this slide, and then the next slide just shows the different weeks and what we're covering for this summer. Maybe just touch on the depth and the breadth of the content that students get to have. It's a lot packed into 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's a lot, but I think that it's done so that it's doable, frankly, based on the way that we put the material together. But the idea is to make sure that the student gets the real benefit, frankly, of all the expertise that's here at the University of Vermont. Because in terms of learning the things that they'll be learning them from the experts, from the people who really want to interact with them, and who interact with our medical students, our undergraduates, our nursing groups. It's pretty amazing. And so I think that let's see, for example, our epidemiology group, I mean, it is a group, and Dr. Carney, who's our Assistant Dean of Epidemiology and Public Health, was also our state health commissioner, and she's world famous, and she spent a whole morning with the students. Maybe Hannah remembers. And so that's the kinds of interactions that they have. And so the night before, they learn a little bit about public health so that they're knowledgeable and so that they can ask good questions and take it from there. And we do it on just a tremendous number of subjects, you know, so.
And I think hopefully that's reflected on these slides for students to take a look and see the types of things that you could be covering. So thank you both. I'm going to just go through a little bit of logistics. I know we've had some questions in the chat box of logistics. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about too is a virtual learning community. So the Catamount Enrichment Community is a virtual community building space that is part of Summer Academy. And so there's so many different resources available for students in there. Lots of videos, lots of tutorials, opportunities to engage and just learn and be a student at UVM. So there's a lot of opportunity for students to interact with each other and what it feels like to be a student at UVM. And I wanted to also, and if you have specific questions about dual enrollment, I know Charlie's on deck in the chat box to be able to answer those, but I really wanted to make sure that Vermont students are aware. And I know we probably have students from all over the country in our chat box with us tonight. But Vermont students have an opportunity to take Summer Academy courses without the charge of the tuition. And so I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of the dual enrollment program. And if you're not aware of the dual enrollment program, you need to walk into your guidance counselor or knock on the door or send them an email and ask about this program and how do you get involved, because it really gives juniors and seniors an access up to 2 college courses, and the voucher covers the cost of tuition. So super important if you aren't aware of that, to make sure that you go and ask your guidance counselor, because it has to get approved through your school first. We had some questions on pricing, and so I wanted to just show this is an in-state pricing slide. I'll do out-of-state in just a moment, but there's the pricing with dual enrollment, which I was just talking about, that tuition is reimbursed via a voucher system through the Vermont Department of Education, and so there's a small fee, a comprehensive fee. And sometimes there's a lab fee, but, and then in-state without dual enrollment, you can see the tuition is $1,024.50. And then again, that comprehensive fee as well. And then out-of-state high school students, the tuition there is $2,580 in those comprehensive fees. So really important to look at what are those options for you if you are a Vermont high school student and you want to go ask about that dual enrollment. I also want, so if you have any specific questions about that, certainly can share more information in the chat box, and also we can put up our email to our enrollment coaches like Charlie. If you have questions after the webinar, we can help with answering that. I also just wanted to share, we've been talking about Paula Tracy's course of health and medicine and focused on COVID-19, but there's other health courses that you can take. As I mentioned, Summer Academy, you could take it the summer after your junior year, the summer after your senior year. And so there's another one called Biomedical Science and Human Diseases. So you can take a look and see some of the different opportunities that that course has. And then also Introductory Neuroscience is happening again this summer, a super popular course as well, and just some of the things that that course covers. So I wanted to also just put out the deadline, the application deadline. I know June 24th probably seems quite a ways away, but here's March. April's going to come quickly. There comes May. So as you're thinking about what the summer looks like, just keep in mind that application deadline. It's not a big, cumbersome application, but you want to spend some time on it. And you can find that on our website as well. So I wanted to circle back around. I know that that Ari was, so Ari was emailing some questions, and I think Charlie was able to answer those questions. So hopefully that, Ari, you're all set. Wanted to put a shout out there. If anyone has any additional questions, please do share them. This is a great time to ask Hannah questions about her experience, Dr. Tracy, about the curriculum, what is it going to be like, what am I learning about, and then any of those logistic questions we're happy to answer, and Charlie can help as well. And while we're waiting to see if there's any additional questions, I want to come back to Hannah. Something you shared with me recently is that this course, you applied this past fall to colleges, and you're still waiting to learn all your different acceptance letters, because I know there'll be many. And so why do you think that this gave you a leg up? And I know you've told me that you feel like it did. It gave you more to talk about in your application. It gave you a much richer opportunity as you're thinking about applying. Share that experience with us.
So, I mean, right off the bat, it you know, every single college application will ask you to choose a preferred major or they call it an interest. And they'll ask you to choose one, two, or three. And immediately after this course, I mean, it definitely solidified my curiosity for medicine and curiosity for science. And so it helped, you know, it helped me really say, you know, this is definitely what I want to do, or almost definitely. I don't know. Um, but that was definitely like first thing that definitely helped. And then also, first of all, those 3 credits, it looks good. It shows that you've done the work. It shows that you took time out of your summer or out of it took time. Your time is priceless. So you took time out of whatever you're doing to sit down and take a month-long course and get these credits and do the work. And so it's definitely good for colleges to see. And it also gives you a talking point about, you know, you might get a supplemental essay question asking, you know, what is one thing that you did this past summer that you're really passionate about? That could be your answer, you know? So I think that there's a multitude of beneficial things. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Thank you, Hannah. And we do have a specific question for you too. Looks like Jacinda's asking, Hannah, did you find the course overwhelming? Did you still feel like you were able to have a summer? And I would say taking your course from the beach at Cape Cod could still feel like you're accomplishing both. But did it feel overwhelming at any time for you?
No, absolutely not. There was never one point in time. I mean, okay, there was one day where I read the reading and then I got a 40% on a quiz. Please don't be mad at me, Miss Tracy. But it was I saw the quiz grade and I was like, oh no, like there goes my entire grade. I mean, I wasn't the only one who got a low score, but it was definitely that was like a little overwhelming. But other than that, no. The workload was never too much. Honestly, the work was read this 4 or 5 page reading. That was it. Maybe watch a video or do a little bit of extra research or go on the database and find one article about this or that. And so it was never something like write a 10-page paper or spend 6 hours doing something. I definitely felt like I was able to take the course and simultaneously have fun. So, well, I had fun taking the course, but fun outside of the course.
Good. And we know we have a wonderful video from Hannah as well that we'll share, maybe in the follow-up of you explaining how you balanced that last summer. And that was a wonderful video. We also have a new podcast episode that just debuted with you as well. And so sharing your experience. So it's all about Hannah, which is wonderful. And so we appreciate your perspective. Oh, good. Jacinda said that was super helpful. So just seeing a few other questions coming in. Ari says, what are the extra, just for me, what are the extra courses incorporated in? Are they a part of the health and medicine program, or is each one a different course? I'm thinking that maybe, and Ari, you could help me clarify, when I showed the other health courses, these are additional, so outside of the health and medicine course, there are 2 other courses in Summer Academy that focus on health. And so you could, depending on, Ari, if you're a junior going into if you're a rising junior, going to be a rising senior, or graduating, you could take one summer and another summer. And so those are just the variety of different health offerings that we do have. And Jassy says, is there any option to get free college credit classes out of state students, specifically New York? Not through the dual enrollment program. That's a Vermont program here, but you need to look into dual enrollment in New York. I know that it's certainly something that other states have. So that would be something that you would definitely want to knock on the door or email your guidance counselor to ask them those different opportunities as well. And Hannah didn't have that opportunity here at UVM, you know, so she saw value in this for some of the things that she was talking about. The credits that she already has under her belt going into college, more information, a richer story on her college application, and learning and on her path to medicine, this is a big step in that right direction. So hopefully that helps to answer those questions. So just going to give a final,
really
go ahead.
quick. Also, in terms of, yes, it's not free, but you look at any other college and their prices are way higher. So get a big bang for your buck. Big bang. I promise you, it's comparatively very, very doable. And also in terms of Mercedes' question, I also think that another way to interpret that question was that the courses that are included in the one that I took, how we were talking about how we learned about different aspects of science and medicine. That could also be a way to interpret that question. I might be wrong, but
hopefully we covered both angles. Yeah, absolutely. And I have that slide up again, Mercedes, if you need to see that again, just the different modules. And Dr. Tracy shared with me right before we began that the updated syllabus will be posted onto the Summer Academy Health and Medicine site very soon. So please do check that out and send us an email if you would like to see something like that too. Charlie, thank you so much for jumping in and answering all the questions. We really appreciate it. I just want to end on, because we're at time, I want to end on two quick questions, one for Paula and then one for Hannah. Paula, you love this course, you love teaching this, and you love interacting with high school students. What makes this so special for you?
I think for me, it's the enthusiasm of the students, and because it's infectious and they bring a different perspective. They ask questions that I never thought someone might ask because they're just thinking about things differently than we think about them. And so I feel honestly that I'm as challenged as they probably feel that they are, because I never know what they're going to ask me. And if I can't answer it, I'll send them to someone who can. But for me, it's the interaction with the students. And because one of the things I did want to add was that there were several students in the course last year who were going to be first year students at UVM. And that's the other thing that's terrific for me, because we've kept in contact since they've gotten here to UVM. And and a lot of it has been virtual, obviously, but we're all learning how to do that really well and feel comfortable with it. And so it's just a fabulous way to keep in touch with people. And so for me, that's the interaction and learning about the students and being able to continue that relationship.
Great. And I know how much the students value that mentorship from you as well. And Hannah, parting words, share with the students who are contemplating UVM Summer Academy. Why would you recommend this program?
Why not? It's COVID summer. What else are you going to do? It's an opportunity to learn. It's an opportunity to learn something that you don't necessarily know you want to learn about yet. Specifically, this health and medicine course, in terms of its relation to COVID. I mean, I definitely felt like Dr. Fauci, every single one of my friends was like, I was exposed like a week and a half ago. I'm not feeling any symptoms. I have a runny nose. I'm like, you're fine, chill out, but it definitely felt like I was having the knowledge was powerful. It was powerful. So I would definitely recommend this course. It was enlightening.
Wise words from Miss Hannah Sher, straight from New York City. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody that asked questions and joined us. If you have additional questions, our email is up in the chat box. Please do send. It'll probably be Charlie answering the email on the other side as well. Charlie and Dr. Tracy and Hannah, thank you so much for being with us. We wish everyone a wonderful evening. Take care.